मैं 5 साल का था जब मैंने हॉकी स्टार्ट की थी। मेरा नाम युवराज सिंह है और मैं इंडिया में हॉकी प्लेयर हूँ। एज ए मैं डिफेंडर एंड ड्रैग फ्लिकर। सीना बहाना पड़ता है तब जाके आता है गोल्ड। आज मैं जो भी हूँ, जो भी नाम है, जो भी कुछ हूँ, आज हॉकी के लिए हूँ। आज भी मैं इंडिया टीम के लिए खेल रहा हूँ, खेलता रहूँगा।
Republic TV and R4 Sports, they are trying to do something big in sports. They are dreaming something big. They are trying to take out all the untold stories from the athletes, from the academies, and from other sports stakeholders. And I guess this should be there in the national stage. The R4 Sports and Republic TV. Good luck.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and time now for your favorite section, the nation's sharpest opinion. And it is my view and the view of most informed observers that the tide has started to turn against Trump, and it is the hard position, the uncompromising position of our nation, led by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that is causing the global tide to turn against Donald Trump. Even the American media is now beginning to say, with the kind of position that Narendra Modi has taken, Trump is going to have to back off. And the great part about the communication of the Indian government is that it's measured, it's statesmanlike, but it is also unflinchingly clear. This comment, which I am about to play next, of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, makes his position clear. He says it is my national interest, our farmers, our dairy producers, our agriculture, our national interest on which I am not going to compromise. It's a clear, unequivocal position, a statement of certainty and a statement of intent from the Indian Prime Minister. Hear this first.
भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
What Narendra Modi is saying essentially, that we have prepared for this, we are ready to pay the price, that we will be able to ride this out, and that he doesn't care about the cost that it has on him personally. That's what leadership is about. But Narendra Modi isn't just saying things. He's also sent National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. We had the pictures of Ajit Doval meeting Vladimir Putin. And at the end of that meeting, Ajit Doval made a very interesting announcement. And he was there, he spoke to all the Russians. At the end of that meeting, he announced that Vladimir Putin is going to be visiting India. Very important statement and very important announcement globally that Putin is going to be traveling to India, which is a big strategic statement by Russia towards India as well. Hear this.
You have very rightly mentioned, Excellency, that we have got a very special relationship, a long relationship, and we highly value our strategic partnership. We have had high-level engagements, and these high-level engagements have contributed very substantially. We are very excited and delighted to learn about the visit of His Excellency the President of Russia, President Putin, to India. I think that the dates are almost finalized now.
And that made global headlines that Putin is going to be traveling in. Here, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to state that it is not just Putin traveling to India which is important. Even the Chinese are seeing an opportunity, and the Chinese see India as leading the way in countering America. In a way, even the Chinese have not been able to. We had a statement from the spokesperson of the Chinese embassy saying, India's sovereignty is non-negotiable and India's foreign policy choices cannot be manipulated by other countries, no matter how significant their own ties with India are. I find this statement very important because the Chinese are basically standing behind India. Nikki Haley, who's a Republican, and at what point of time was challenging Trump for the presidential candidacy, said that China, an adversary, and the #1 buyer of Russian and Iranian oil, got a 90-day tariff pause. Don't give China a pass and burn a relationship with a strong ally like India. So reasonable politicians in America, even ex-allies of Donald Trump, are saying you are making a mistake with India. When the Brazilian president, Lula da Silva, was asked whether he will meet Donald Trump, he said, I will not call Trump because he does not want to talk. And I don't know if I have this comment with me. He said, I would rather call Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping, which talks about India's stature at a global level. Hear this, please.
Mas pode ficar certo, Marina. Vou ligar para ele, vou ligar para o Xi Jinping, vou ligar para o primeiro-ministro Modi, vou ligar. Eu não vou ligar para o Putin, porque o Putin não está podendo viajar. Mas vou ligar para muitos presidentes. Tocaram, vem.
So viewers, the point I'm trying to make is, across the world, people are looking at the way Narendra Modi is leading this very calm and statesman-like tariff battle with America and seeing in India's stance something that they can emulate. But viewers, in America also, the Americans are beginning to get worried about Donald Trump. According to a research done by the Budget Lab at Yale University, the average American household will spend at least $2,000 more this year because of Trump's tariff tyranny. As per estimates from Morgan & Stanley, Trump's 50% tariffs will directly impact 67% of India's exports to the US. Now, who's going to pay for that? The American household, the American taxpayer, already burdened, already under pressure with the $37 trillion debt that his economy has, is going to be paying for all this nonsense that American President Donald Trump is unfortunately doing. The tariffs are basically import taxes which are paid by US importers. When Trump imposes tariffs, ladies and gentlemen, the higher prices will naturally, basic economics, get passed on to the consumers, which means that everything that America does not produce domestically, whether it's coffee, tea, or even bananas, are going to become more expensive. And since working and middle-class Americans spend a larger share of their income on goods like food, housing, electronics, they are the ones who are going to be maximum affected. So basically, it is Americans who are going to pay. And I have a visual which also tells you, viewers, that frankly, nobody cares much for American bullying. You know, the United Arab Emirates president, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, he traveled to Russia for his second visit to the country in less than a year. This is very important because according to Trump, any country directly or indirectly buying oil from Russia will face sanctions. Now, the UAE imports from Russia crude oil, ladies and gentlemen, and it did so in 2023. And in June 2025, Saudi Arabia emerged as the top buyer for Russian seaborne fuel oil and vacuum gas oil. This meeting of the UAE president indicates that countries like the UAE will continue to do business with Russia, regardless of all these threats that America is putting towards India or towards China or towards Russia directly. So if we are able to wear this out, if we are able to just stare America back, we are sure to succeed, ladies and gentlemen. And all these meetings, these are not acts of defiance. If Narendra Modi, if Doval is in China, if Narendra Modi has gone to Brazil, if the UAE president is in Moscow, these are not heresies. This is not sacrilege. This is how the world works. But the if Narendra Modi is being honored by the Brazilian president there, this is not a wrong relationship. This is how the world works. Problem is, with the limited experience that Donald Trump has, he is unwilling to accept the reality of a multipolar world where neither he nor America are as powerful as they think they are. Importantly, for viewers in India, I would like to say, what does the world say about Narendra Modi and the government of India today? Even Reuters, which I often find quite critical, says, India's Modi vows no compromise on foreign interests amidst Trump's tariff salvo. This is just a glimpse of the global media. MSNBC says what Trump doesn't but should understand about his own trade deals. Headlines like this give me a clear sense that given the strength and conviction with which India is staring Trump back, people within America and the rest of the world are seeing this as a silver lining, an opportunity. That if a large country like India, which has a great future, is able to stare America back, it opens the door for free determining of economic and foreign policy by countries around the entire world, whether in Asia, large parts of the global south, South America, Australasia, or Africa. And that is India's eventual destiny. This is not a Trump versus Modi battle, therefore. It is a battle between Trump's arrogance and the patience and relentless patience of the rest of the world. Let's debate.
Within 24 hours of US President Donald Trump's fresh tariff announcement on India, raising it to a net rate of 50%, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has broken his silence and has drawn the line.
हमारे लिए अपने किसानों का हित सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
The Prime Minister's official statement came after India had already made its position clear on the unilateral tariffs that US has imposed on India, calling them unfair, unjustified and unreasonable just minutes after the announcement was made last evening. US cited India's direct and indirect oil imports from Russia as the major reason of doubling down with an additional 25% tariff from the initial 25% announced earlier. However, when confronted with the reality of how US tariffs are skewed against India, while other nations like China are getting a free pass, Trump was once again at a loss of words.
Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil.
It's okay.
Like China, for instance,
It's
buys
okay.
more.
Yeah.
Why are you singling India out for these additional sanctions?
It's only been 8 hours, so let's see what happens over the next.
More secondary sanctions.
You're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're
what's
going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
However, it wasn't as easy for the White House trade advisor to brush away the China question. When confronted, Peter Navarro said that the US had already put a 50% tariff on China, and they did not want to a point where it hurts the Americans more. This is not the first time Trump has been stumped by his own hypocrisy on tariffs.
India says that the US imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, please.
India says that the US imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, please.
With Trump cognizant of the damage caused to the economy by its own tariffs, and PM Modi declaring that he is ready to pay a heavy price for India's national interest, the MAGA-MEGA trade war enters its next chapter.
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions.
And my first guest tonight is attorney Ravi Batra. He's a renowned American attorney. He's pro-MAGA, pro-Trump. And he's the chair of the National Advisory Council on South Asian Affairs. So he's firmly with the Trump camp. Ravi, it's good to have you this evening again. It's been a long time. Now, the question Trump cannot answer. This is not about Russian oil, quite clearly. Otherwise, if it was about buying Russian oil, then there should have been sanctions on China. But there are no such sanctions on China, though they buy a lot, even more Russian oil than India does. So why is it because the Americans are weaker with China, or is it simply because if you impose it on a matter of principle with China, then Americans will be hurt more, given that China exports more to you?
First, let me just say that I am pro-America. And second, I am very, very strong and being supportive of India-US relationship becoming equal to the one we have, a special one with the United Kingdom. And that is, I've spent over 50 years of my life working to that effort through various administrations. What you have here, Arnab, first of all, India is a sovereign nation and has every right every sovereign has, the same right that we have as a sovereign nation. And sometimes that means doing the right thing in a difficult way, doing the right thing in an easy way. This one's a complicated one. These are cascading causes that are interplaying and hence not so easy to comprehend. So I want to go to some basics. One, Dr. Ambedkar wrote India's constitution modeled largely on American constitution. So the nation of India is really another America in Asia.
I strongly object.
Love America.
I strongly object to that. Please, I think that you are drawing large inferences which are inaccurate. He was certainly inspired by British law, but that does not mean that India is inspired by the American effort at all. In fact, absolutely and totally to the contrary. I can tell you that it is Indian experiences which have shaped early American leaders, and I can prove it to you, but that's not the point here tonight.
But the difference between us, Arnab, is that you want to give a report card on today's event, which is that yesterday tariffs were announced, which are punitive to India, which I'm not in favor of. But so we can either join together and say, that's bad, 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 or as I wish, we need to find ways and means to get beyond this, back to where we ought to be, and that is this. If Russia can be friends with China and India at the same time, why can't America be friends with India and China and Russia at the same time? So you have to start from larger context. Now, 2016, Prime Minister Modi brought the entire Congress to its feet in applause when he said that the ties between India and the United States are indivisible. In 2017, a rare honor given to India and to Prime Minister Modi by President Trump 45, in Howdy Modi, where in American soil, a foreign leader, introduced the American president to Americans in Texas, in Houston, Texas. So the love affair between America and India is real, and it ought not be diluted with the dust-up of yesterday's events. In fact, you should see this as connecting the dot to Prime Minister Modi's comments in Samarkand in September of 2022, when he attended the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting and said this is not an era for war, which was a direct rebuke for President Putin.
Again, I go back to the point here. See, I'll go back to the substantial point, and I'm all for niceties, but niceties don't determine, the reality. The point is this. See, what are Indians asking tonight, Ravi? Let's be clear about it, right? What Indians are saying is, where is the parity in this, right? You are saying suddenly to a country who you consider your strategic partner that we are going to punish you unilaterally. We will make numerous statements against you. But you're not explaining why you buy uranium, hexafluoride, palladium, and other minerals and engage in billions of dollars of trade with the Russians, while trying to sound all high and mighty about why Indians are doing trade with the Russians. Question one. And the second question tonight, just to keep it extremely pointed, that why don't you apply the same rule to the Chinese? Are you scared?
No. So it's not about scared. It's about doing things right. The number one topic on President Trump's agenda item beyond trade is ceasefire in Ukraine. Because
if you apply sanctions on the Chinese, then that may have more effect than increasing the trade tariff with India.
So this is a crisis, and this crisis empowers India and Prime Minister Modi to really say to President Putin, come on, guys, we got to make a deal here. We got to stop the war in Ukraine. I said it to you in 2022. President Trump has been saying it while he was running for election, while being prosecuted and persecuted domestically by the then Biden administration. Let's not even go to the Obama administration with the Russia hoax that was perpetrated. So we have a lot of internal politics we're dealing with, but externally, this crisis is really almost a call to say to India, to Prime Minister Modi, please help us together.
Ravi, I wish I could agree with you, but I need to come to you again. You see, the point is that I think you're spoiling it with the Indians. I'll tell you why. Why would you make a potential trade agreement with India hostage to your problems with Russia? These are two unrelated things. You're an attorney. You understand very well the importance not of mixing two unrelated things. We came to you first. We came to you. We were one of the first countries in the new Trump administration of opening up a trade dialogue with you. But without asking us, you yanked our trade dialogue out of a drawer somewhere, and you said we are going to use it as a lever against you to blackmail Russia. Now, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay.
Ravi,
I can understand that your perspective, that it's not fair, but I wanted to say this to you. Making an agreement, a trade agreement or any other agreement, is like making love. The couple, it's unique to that couple, how they behave with each other behind closed doors. So neither you or I are behind those closed doors when these negotiations took place. You don't know if something went astray or didn't go astray, but the fact remains, and that's why we have to come to larger pillars, the structural strength of U.S.-India relations, and that is to say this. Prime Minister Modi was ahead of President Trump in 2022 saying this war should end. It shouldn't even have started. The truth is the war shouldn't have started. Why did it start? Because
India didn't start the war.
During President Biden,
India didn't start the war. India can't be used as a linchpin to end it.
Ignored by Tony Blinken.
But India can't be used as a pivot or a linchpin to end a war it neither started nor is responsible for ending.
Okay, so let me give you the punchline. The punchline is this 50% tariff will disappear. A proper result will be achieved. President Trump's desire for a ceasefire will occur. In fact, Prime Minister Modi was ahead of President Trump's request that the ceasefire occur. So they are natural partners in ending the war. And I want to remind you something. This particular war that's in Ukraine, it's a very old war. It's not 2014 Crimea taking, or 2022, when actually there was a special military operation to invade
Ravi,
Ukraine
when Trump was fighting the elections, sorry to interrupt again.
You remember Lord Tennyson, the charge of the Light Brigade? That was about Crimea. That's how long this has been festering. Nation leaders need to solve problems with final solutions, not these intermittent band-aids. Political expediency kicks the problem down the road.
Okay, last question to you. These are individual compulsions of Donald Trump. He said he'll finish this in 10 days. He didn't say, I'm going to finish it in 10 days provided India stops buying Russian oil.
Again, as I said to you, the dating game or the making love game, you have to know each other's love language, okay? And so the couple that knows the love language of their partner ends up having lots of babies. Those that don't.
I would politely, completely disagree with your analogy out there, but that is your personal matter. But Ravi, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. That's Ravi Batra from New York. Ladies and gentlemen, the well-known Ajay Bagga, great and popular macro voice, increasingly high on the popularity index for the way he puts India's position, along with Charles Kupchan, very critical of Trump, professor at Georgetown, the famous Georgetown University in DC, Pastor Mark Burns, inflammable as always, but a fiery debater, spiritual advisor to President Trump, St. Alexander Shajan, he's a grassroots Republican strategist, hardcore Trump supporter. And we have Jennifer Zeng, member of the International Press Association, CCP and China Affairs. She's joining us from Washington, D.C. I'm not going to classify her position tonight. So where do we stand here today? Now, Pastor, I start with you. You see, we have a very tough Prime Minister. He's given a clear statement today. He says, see, you can do what you want. And his exact words are, I'm willing to pay any price, personally and in any way, but for me only three things matter. India, India, India. Indian farmers, Indian dairy producers, and the people of India, Indian fishermen. So this has failed, Pastor. The pressure tactic has failed. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I don't think that it's most definitely too early to suggest that that has failed. The reality is this, and again, India is a growing power, and you guys are growing, but the Prime Minister is risking his legacy and the future of his election, because the reality is India cannot fight a long-term or survive a long-term trade war with the United States of America. The reality is we're 7 times larger in your economy than India is. India still depends heavily on access to our markets. And so for a long term, India just simply cannot survive. You have, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and others who are nipping at the butt. And so
sorry, but
you can laugh, but my point is the Prime Minister, how smart and wise that he may be, you have folks who are nipping at the butt and they're niching, at the opportunity, because if the economy of India continues to fail, and it will, in a long-term trade war with America. But let me also say this. You're speaking about why allowing China to buy oil and then punishing India, who's supposed to be our friends. Let's just be clear. China is a dictator communist country. They align with Russia. You don't treat your adversaries the same as you treat your allies. There's a difference. China aligns with Russia. They are adversaries to America. And so India, on the other hand, is a strategic partner. We are supposed to be hand in hand together. One, you punish. China, you punish. India should know better. The president's desire is to end the war in Ukraine. Why would we, as friends, allow India to fund a warlord dictator war in Russia by buying cheap Russian oil, while at the same time gain access to the massive U.S. markets that India right now so heavily depends on for the economy? And so it is not fair. You can't have both. You're literally playing what we would call on the fence, and you can't do that. Either we are friends or we're not. The president, and not only that, India risks not just alienating the United States of America, but you also risk alienating your position on a global stage with the European nations who are also punishing Russia for viciously attacking Ukraine. So you're not just fighting the United States of America in this trade war. You're risking losing your national position, your global, position on the world stage because other European nations are joining in these very same sanctions against Russia.
Have you finished? Have you finished, Pastor? Are you going to expend all your armory right in the first answer tonight? Because you see,
no,
I can, now listen, Pastor. I will only say two things to you. I'll pass it on after that. First of all, be very clear about one thing. Don't talk like that. Don't say, who are you? Who are you? I would say, who are you? 1 minute. When you keep saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, I would turn around to you and say, Pastor, you Americans, who are you to even say anything to us? You have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have a bloated...
Well, I agree.
1 minute, allow me now. Now listen to me when I'm giving it back hard, right? Yeah, I haven't even pulled out my uppercut. Now the question is here today, Pastor. When you say this, you got to understand how small you actually are, how insignificant you are. Because you are I'll tell you why. Because as far as we are concerned, if we have exports of about $800 billion or so with you, this impacts 5% of that. 5%. You do not impact our GDP more than 0.2%. In terms of tariffs, if you impose 50% to 100%, you will at the most impact $40 billion. That is very small for a country of India's size. That's 5% of our exports to you. We can live with that. So you are not important, point number one. Okay? Please be absolutely and clinically clear about it. It does not affect us. Clear? Now I repeat that question to you. Well, you obviously don't understand economics, so you're laughing there. Or you don't have an answer to me, probably. You don't have an answer to me. That's more likely, the more likely. Now, point is, when he was asked, why do you import uranium hexafluoride from Russia? Trump looked like a thief who'd been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He said, I'm not going to deny it. He could have denied it, but he did not, because a brave reporter asked him that you're such a hypocrite. You are buying uranium hexafluoride for your nuclear plants from a country that gives it to you, which is Russia. And Trump tried to look away. He should have given a clear answer there. He did not. Just the way you can't answer any of my questions here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can't. Why do you buy uranium hexafluoride and palladium from Russia? I'll play the soundbite, ladies and gentlemen. Just listen to this one, okay? Just look at how hesitant he looks. Just look at his body language out there. Let's play it. Let's play it with that window. Let's play it.
India says that the US imports Russian uranium, chemicals, fertilizers, while criticizing their energy imports. Your response to that, sir?
I don't know anything about it. I'd have to check, but we'll get back to you on that. Yeah, please.
Ajay, I don't know anything about it. I'll have to check on that. Next question, please.
Well, let me just say this.
Ajay, you heard that? Ajay Bagga from Mumbai.
Yeah,
I'm going to answer.
Arnab, overall, if you see the opening remarks from the pastor, unfortunately, in their quest to make America great again, they're making America alone. This is not the way that you treat a friend, a friendly nation, a democratic nation. You are not trying to build up friends. You want vassals.
India should not be playing both sides.
You have done a...
India is playing both sides.
I was quiet while you were talking. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Europe was charging you 1.5% tariffs. You made it 0% tariff, and the president is saying, I've got the most beautiful deal in the world. What was the big deal in reducing 1.5 to 0? Korea, which had a free trade agreement, you went and put 25% tariffs on them. Now you have agreed at 15%. They were total charging you 0.79%. You took it to 0, and you're showing it, we have vanquished the Koreans. The Japanese had a total tariff weighted average of under 2%. You've taken it to 0%. India, if you take the weighted average tariff, we are at 4.6%. It is no big deal for us to bring it down to 0%. What we don't want, what you had to do when you took on the Chinese in 2018-19, and they stopped buying your farm produce, every year you had to put extra $30 billion of subsidies to your farmers. Again, that situation is reached because guess what? The Chinese bought a lot of Brazilian soya, Brazilian corn in January, in the January harvest. This harvest in the US is not getting picked up. The Europeans are not buying because they need a carbon certificate, which the Canadians are giving. So Canadian corn and soya is going to Europe. American is not going. You will have to subsidize, and you will dump it all in these complying nations. India has to protect its farmers. It has to protect its small dairy farmers, its fishery exports.
Yep.
That is what a fishery industry. That is the only thing India has put in. Second, a friend does not hyphenate you with a rogue nation, a failed nation, a terror sponsor where you had killed Osama bin Laden. 30 times President Trump has said, I called up both the countries and I held up the specter of taking away their trade, and they agreed to a ceasefire. On the floor of the parliament, our Prime Minister has said, I did not speak to any leader of the world. After that, Trump has not got back, but 30 times he brought this up, which the opposition caught.
I think Ajay, we just have these visuals. Just to interrupt for a moment, Ajay, because I got these visuals here, and Tatiana is joining us from Moscow. That is India's national security advisor, the amazing, incredible, wise, and sophisticated Ajay Doval, meeting Vladimir Putin in his Kremlin office some time back. And at the same time, an announcement made that Vladimir Putin is traveling to India this month. In a couple of weeks, he will be in New Delhi. Now, that's very significant, isn't it, Tatiana, in the context of what's going on between India and the US?
And I really want to respond to the...
sure, I'll let you. But Tatiana.
But I really want to respond to regards to...
let's get Tatiana from Moscow, please. Thank you. Tatiana, Tatiana, the pastor is unnerved tonight.
Let me say this though.
Because pastor, see, what does Ajay Baga represent? Ajay Baga represents a solid, unflappable, reasonable Indian who you can't push.
That you cannot equate buying Russian oil that handles 35% of the total Russian GDP. That is the backbone of Russian economy, to buying rare minerals that we cannot find nowhere else.
Listen, I'll tell you only one thing, pastor. I'll tell you only one thing, pastor. Pastor, listen to me. I'll only say one thing to you, pastor. You hear me now tonight. I'm going to say something to you you're not going to like. You're not going to enjoy what I say. You're not going to enjoy what I say. But I will have to say this to you tonight because you keep crossing the line. See,
at a cheap price.
1 minute, pastor. We will buy from wherever we want to, at whatever price we want to, at whatever price we can afford. My sympathy is with you, but you are not going to decide anything for anyone. Now listen here. Okay, pastor, thank you. Thank you for interrupting. But my point here tonight is always remember every day, pastor. You're a spiritual guy. I'll tell you something you relate to. Every morning when you wake up, and every night when you go to sleep, pastor, remind yourself that you are a citizen of a 200-year-old country. A new country called USA. And India is a 10,000, China, 10,000-year-old civilizations.
that we're
Talk with
7 times
respect.
larger in
Talk with
economics,
respect,
sir.
Pastor.
You can talk about
As a
aid
citizen of a
this is what we are
200-year-old country,
Today,
you're speaking to
we
a
are fighting
10,000-year-old
a trade war,
civilization.
and your
Talk
prime
with
minister
respect.
is choosing
Talk
to
with
allow your
respect,
people
or don't talk
in
at
India
all.
to suffer.
And now, please listen here. Don't try all these heresies with me. Now listen to Tatiana. Tatiana, what's the significance of today's meeting at the Kremlin and Putin coming to India soon?
Oh, look, Arnab, I think this is a very, very significant meeting. But also, let's just remember that, the pastor can talk a very, very loud conversation, but we do understand that India still has 21 days to respond to the tariffs, which brings us to our previous conversation of the fact that Donald Trump is playing hardball, but this is essentially a bluff to begin with. He is waiting for India to respond. In the meantime, the announcement of the president's visit and even the meeting, the visuals that you're showing today are just what they're supposed to be. This is a powerful statement by two powerful nations saying that, look, you cannot hardball countries like India, you cannot hardball countries like Russia. This is just not the way you deal with big nations. You can bully Europeans, but not big nations and powerful nations that have the right absolutely to their own national interests, and they will pursue them because this is it is not an America-centered world anymore, and you just have to learn to live in this world, Pastor. You and Donald Trump both.
Well,
And most importantly, I want to go to Jennifer. Jennifer, please, Pastor, let the others also come into this. Jennifer Zeng has been waiting. Jennifer, your thoughts on this, please. I don't know your positions, your thoughts on what's going on between India and the US, and of course the other ramifications of it. Jennifer Zeng, please. Thank you. Sir, please don't monopolize the conversation, Pastor, because it's been half an hour. We need to let the others come in. Thank you very much. Jennifer Zeng, please. Jennifer.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I think, of course, every country has the sovereignty to decide what they want to do and from which country they want to buy their oil or other goods. But I think the reality of the world now is we need to recognize the fact that Donald Trump has changed and is changing the trade order of this world, which has been in place for decades since World War II. But he has been changing all of this, and we are now facing a new reality, and he is negotiating deals with countries one by one. And of course, India can decide whatever India wants to do, but from the point of American president, he has, whatever the people has given him the ability or the power to decide what to do with the tariffs with each nation. What I say is India has been, I think, stick to its non-aligned policy with a country. India is trying to be friends with different countries and all the time and has been doing very well. But the reality now is, I think, the CCP is or the final showdown between America or the free world and the communist China is unavoidable, is inevitable. It will happen one way or the other, sooner or later.
It will happen.
So, it will happen. And the biggest threat to India is the CCP, not America. So from my understanding, of course, I hope Donald Trump can impose maybe 200, 500% tariff on China right now. But I only hope after he's dealing with other countries and making deals with other countries.
Yeah, but Jennifer, India's Jennifer, may I come in for a moment? See, I'll give you the perspective from India. India has separated its geopolitical issues with China away from its economic issues with China. We can work with you economically. We will continue to be adversaries at a strategic, military, and foreign policy level, and that is possible today. Breaking news right now, we've just been told that there has been a phone call between Brazil's President Lula, who has just had a long conversation with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This has just been happening. Now, Mr. Shajan, right, you're joining us from Atlanta, and Charles Kupchan. So things are moving fast. Brazil connecting India. Putin saying, Alexander, putting it in perspective, Putin saying, after his meeting with India's National Security Advisor, I'm going to be flying down to Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying, I'm going to be meeting Xi Jinping, I'm going for SCO in China, then I'm going to Japan. Brazil saying, we stand with India, right? And the UAE president going down and meeting Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Things are moving very fast, so other countries are also coming together, and they're significant and strong economies in their own right. Alexander, what do you think?
Well, I'm very upset, and I'm sad that India has failed to realize the importance of understanding President Trump's negotiation tactics as a decent businessman on this Russia-Ukraine war. I mean, it's a very sad situation. You know, I was just listening. I was very quiet. I was listening. Everything Arnab was saying, and you were saying about the 200-year civilization and 10,000. Whether it is 200-year or 10,000-year civilization where China has or Russia has, you know, what are the contributions of China to the entire world, for the rest of the world? When you sugarcoat China for, you said this, yes, the geopolitical issues with China, you are going to put that away. We are good to go with the economic affairs. But do not forget what China has done to India during the recent war with Pakistan. China has provided all the military and intelligence support to Pakistan during the recent conflict. You know, that includes supplying all...
And what did you do? Have you forgotten? What did you do? What did you do? You've forgotten. You joined up with Osama's friends. Do you want me to remind you about that? And by the way, let me tell you, we're good enough to fight the Chinese on our own militarily. We've done it a number of times. We're good to deal with it. We don't trust you. We don't trust you anymore. You're not friends. We don't trust you anymore. You're not being reasonable. We'll look out for ourselves. And it doesn't matter if you feel sad. And it's the truth. You are a 200-year-old country and we are a 10,000-year-old civilization. That's the reality. Deal with it.
You are doing the same thing. When you call out hypocrisy, you are doing the same thing. Let's be very nice here, okay? I'm being very nice, but let's talk economics here. Don't talk down to us. Don't talk down to India. Don't talk down to India. I'm not going to yield it to you. I told you the other day, I am very proud of my Indian heritage, okay? And I still love that nation. I'm not here to fight with you to find out what India is big or US is big or US is going to bow down. No, I'm talking about China. India's most threatful nation, that is neighbor.
Listen, we have lived with this threat for a long time and we know how to deal with it. We have dealt with it. You are dealing with a small country like Canada. We're dealing with China for a long time. We don't need, 1 minute, just with respect, sir. Both you and Pastor must understand. Sir, please understand. Sir, please understand one thing. Please understand. See, you must understand. We, India and China, have a long border, okay? And there are military problems. We have an unresolved border issues. But two big nations, two big militaries, two big economies, we are dealing with it. We don't do this social media wars in between India and China. And we know China's position, but we also engage with them. Our National Security Advisor spoke to Wang Yi towards the end of Operation Sindoor. We don't do diplomacy on Truth Social. That's the difference between India and America. You have problems with China, we do. But I want to tell you one thing. Look at the economics of it, Alexander. Today, our dairy market is 13 lakh crores. It's growing at 15% CAGR every year. You are saying, give up on your dairy economy, which produces 25% of the world's milk. You're saying give it, hand it over to America. We are saying no, we won't give it. Narendra Modi is saying no. Charles, what did Trump expect? For Narendra Modi to roll over and say, please, take over Indian dairy, take over Indian agriculture. We'll stop buying Russian trade. We'll do what you want. He's not going to say that. Charles, where is this headed?
Hold on.
Charles, where is this headed now? This is getting so facile. Charles, please.
Could you hold off for a second? You've had plenty of time to speak. I broadly agree, Arnab, with the position that you've presented. These tariffs are a mistake. We are seeing Modi, in my mind, do the right thing, which is to push back against a bully. We are seeing India and Brazil and China and perhaps Russia band together to try to resist an American president who is doing things that don't make any sense. The one area where I would disagree with your opening statement is that I don't think we're yet at an inflection point where Trump is going to pull back. In fact, here in the United States, in Washington, D.C., a day by day, things get worse. Trump fires somebody, a nonpartisan analyst, who puts out job numbers he doesn't like. Then they fire a cybersecurity specialist who's teaching at West Point because she worked for Biden, even though she also worked for Republicans. I think things are going to get worse before they get better. Trump is going to double down on these tariffs, not pull back. But I do see two potential lights at the end of the tunnel. One is prices are going to start going up very quickly now that all of these tariffs are in place, and that suggests a public backlash against Trump. And number two, let's see what happens when Trump meets Putin, which is supposed to happen perhaps next week. If we can get an end to the war in Ukraine, and I'm not saying we can, but at least the conversation is starting, then maybe we can see them pull back on these tariffs, these penalty tariffs against India, and lower the tariff levels overall. But we're right now, I think, in a very bad place where Trump thinks he's getting stronger, he's winning. We're not yet at that tipping point that you referred to.
I completely agree with you. Someone got upset that, Tatiana, when I said, Tatiana, that India and China are 10,000-year-old civilizations and America is a 200-year-old country. I was only stating a fact, Tatiana. I was only stating a fact. This is a reality. Why does it hurt?
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm very good with my history. I did read a lot of history books, and not just on the history of Russia, not just on the history of India, but I'm a history geek. But I have to agree with the previous speaker. We need to learn to pay less attention to the chaos that Donald Trump creates around himself to be able to remain sane in this world, because he has been doing this controlled chaos thing for a long time, and he's good at it to a point. But this whole situation, the fact that at the same time, remember the last time I was on this debate, I told you that it wasn't just Mr. Doval who was in Moscow, it was also Mr. Witkoff. And that meeting, according to Trump, was very, very effective and was very, very fruitful. At the same time, he's threatening these ultimatums. At the very same time, this chaos is what he thrives on. So to be able to remain sane and to get the power back, we need to learn to, again, not take what he says at face value. And I do believe also that the economic backlash from these tariffs, if, how many times he's threatened one thing, then he gives you this long waiting period. Oh, look, let's negotiate. Now India has 21 days to respond, and then there might be another
extension.
Yeah, exactly. Another extension. But if the tariffs do come in place, the economic backlash will be terrible. Not just the reaction is going to be huge, not just in the US. Let's not forget Europe. let's not forget, there's a lot of...
Oh, it's going to be terrible for American citizens.
The global economy is a global economy for a reason. You can't just do things without consequences. And as soon as there will be consequences, we'll see him change his tune completely.
And Americans will get poorer and Trump and family will get richer by doing crypto deals with the Pakistanis. This is so immoral. This is wrong.
In the US,
it's wrong. So, Pastor, don't make it more difficult for the Americans. What Charles, right, Charles? Don't make it more difficult. This is going to eventually be paid by Americans, $2,000 per year more, minimum, if the Indian tariffs go up. Right, Charles? This is going to get expensive for Americans, Charles. You understand that?
It's already going up. 50% tariffs on Brazil. You know what that's going to do to the cost of the coffee that every American has every morning? Huge increase. This is not going to work, and that's why I'm hopeful that there will be a political backlash against a set of Trump policies that are incredibly Make America great again? Why is he destroying the best universities? Why is he defunding basic research? Why is he firing the federal workforce? It makes no sense.
I have 30 seconds each. We'll divide the time. Ajay, your last message to the pastor, who's a little unnerved, a little more silent today, more sedate, I would say.
No, Arnab, overall, if you look at the debt level of the US, it's $37 trillion. The world has invested $15 trillion in America. America pays the world about $100 billion as interest every year. And their interest has gone to $1.2 trillion. It's more than social security payouts. It's more than what they spend on defense, more than what they spend on healthcare.
Yes.
Much more than they spend on education. So it's a country which is having a deficit per year, more than 6% of GDP, running more than $1 trillion of deficit, fiscal deficit every year. But then...
So we need to wrap here. Pastor, I would only say to you, best of luck. You're heading towards turbulent times.
FX reserves, which we place...
The reality of it is this.
They seized $300 billion of the Russian reserves.
If India is our friends, then they would stand with us against the atrocities that the Russians are doing to the Ukrainians.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's another lecture on Ukraine another time. But tonight I'll end with the pictures of Ajit Doval meeting Putin. Big moment there. Things are pivoting very differently and things are changing. As I said, this is a moment of change, not just for India, but around the world. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध, MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity, Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
In an exclusive conversation with Republic TV, Benjamin Netanyahu backs India amid the Trump tariff war. Abhishek Kapoor speaking to Netanyahu in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu reveals the big Gaza plan, says Israel will intensify its war in Gaza to finish Hamas. Says it will be handed over to a governing body. Reports suggest Russian President Vladimir Putin will be in India. Dates yet to be announced. Some reports saying it could be as early as end August.
और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
Prime Minister Modi sends a strong message following Donald Trump's tariff announcement. Says India is ready, says he is ready to pay a personal price if required.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight at 8 p.m. tonight, as the Prime Minister says, we will never compromise. Is Rahul and company, are they working against national interests at this time? At 9 o'clock tonight, why I completely agree that this is a great opportunity and not a challenge for the country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Republic, and you're with me on the debate this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, there is only one leader in the world, just one world leader, who is standing up directly and completely against the bullying of Donald Trump. And that world leader is our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Trump says that our trade barriers are obnoxious. He says our trade policy is obnoxious. He used the words obnoxious. And Narendra Modi says in response that do not forget, Mr. Trump, the welfare of our farmers is our top priority. Donald Trump threatens us and says if you buy Russian oil, then I will accuse you of selling it in the open market. And Narendra Modi says that I know that personally I will have to pay a heavy price for taking on America, but I'm ready for it, for my people, for my farmers, and for national interest. Trump says that I warn you, Mr. Modi, I'm going to bring in 25 plus 25%. I'm going to put in 50%. Almost illegal tariffs, but Modi says again, you can do what you want, but I'm going to take care of my dairy farmers, our fishermen, and our farmers, our agriculture. I'm not going to compromise on it. And then Trump threatens again. He says, Mr. Modi, you're going to see a lot of secondary sanctions, keeping the option of taking it beyond 50%. And Narendra Modi says, farmers, fishermen, and my dairy farmers, I'm not going to compromise on any of them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what our Prime Minister said.
अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
And that message makes us so proud. Ladies and gentlemen, every day this battle goes on between Narendra Modi and Donald Trump. We increase in global stature because we in India are standing up to American bullying like no other country in the world has, and not just today, since World War II. The whole world is used to American bullying, and that is why the world is taking note. CNBC Global says India isn't flinching, why Trump is misreading India's tariff playboard. CNN International says Trump wants India to stop buying Russian oil. Why is Modi saying no? The Chinese CGTN says India-US trade turmoil, when a bargain becomes an extortion. Suddenly the Chinese are also on our side. And the Financial Times says Narendra Modi tells Indian farmers he will never compromise in the face of 50% tariff. Even if grudgingly, the entire world, from Europe to the United Kingdom, to China, to Japan, to Australia, are watching what Narendra Modi is doing with admiration. And that is what matters the most. But why is Narendra Modi doing it? I thought that today I would tell you a little bit about why Narendra Modi is doing it. And I'm not getting carried away with it, but he is doing this for our future. Why is Narendra Modi taking a hard line on it? Because he has a long-term view of not just India as Viksit Bharat, but the terms on which India will become Viksit Bharat. It is very important for us to read Narendra Modi's mind. Narendra Modi essentially is analyzing the present situation and saying, my steps today will decide the future generation's economic future. He can be very transactional, and he can say, I'll compromise with the Americans, I'll protect myself politically, but no, he's not doing that. And this is not just about oil from Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just about affordable oil. This is a bigger battle. This is MAGA versus MEGA. Make India great again. And Narendra Modi is quite clear that India's interests are not up for negotiation. Let me explain why this is MAGA versus MEGA. Why what Narendra Modi is doing will have direct benefit to the people of the country. Because what Modi has said is that I'm going to go with a conscious, farmer-led, fuel security, seed sovereignty, and rural life dignity-led approach. I need to protect the interests of my people. Of course, it is about Russian oil. 33 billion saved in energy costs. Where does this money go to? This money is a direct beneficiary, ladies and gentlemen. The direct beneficiaries of this money being saved are you and me, are us. Narendra Modi is also saying that should I really allow Donald Trump to push through genetically modified crops into India? Now, if GM soya or GM corn is even allowed for animal feed, it will give multinational corporations a backdoor entry into Indian agriculture. GM crops would be pushed to small Indian farmers through multinational patents, and Indian farmers will be controlled by multinational companies. Modi is saying long-term ramifications are very dangerous. If leveraged to their full potential, our agricultural sector can grow on its own. It can grow to potentially about $1.5 trillion by 2035. So Narendra Modi is saying, I'll take the hit now, but we will make our Indian agriculture strong in the medium term. And finally, the dairy industry. This is 5% of our total GDP. We contribute proudly over 25% to global milk production. We support 80 million rural households. Now, Narendra Modi can compromise with Donald Trump and say, I will give up on our interests. But he knows that Indian dairy has the potential to challenge the world rather than allow American dairy manufacturers to open literally the floodgates into India. So all of the things that Narendra Modi is doing today by standing up to Donald Trump in the medium to long term will have tremendous benefit for the people of India. And we must have nothing but absolute admiration for a Prime Minister who says, I'm willing to stake myself. I'm willing to take the personal hit, the political hit, but I will not budge to what Donald Trump wants me to do. How different this approach is from the approach of Manmohan Singh and the Congress, when they just bent helplessly before the American administrations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a proud moment for the country. At this moment, we also need to choose what kind of leader does this country need. Leaders are tested in tough times. As they say, as the cliches goes, tough times don't last, but tough people do, and tough leaders do. We have a direct contrast today between a Narendra Modi who says every Indian is saying we are set to become the third largest economy. Every leader, despite their hesitations, must work in national interest and awaken the spirit of Swadesh, self-reliance among the people. That is one choice you have today. If you're watching this, choose. On the other hand, you have Rahul Gandhi who says, India, we are a dead economy. We're a completely dead economy. And he made that comment, ladies and gentlemen, in the Indian Parliament, in the premises of the Indian Parliament. How disgraceful is that? How opportunistic is that? And how desperate is that? You need to choose, ladies and gentlemen. And we ran a poll as well. We ran a poll, we asked people. And we are continuing to ask people, out of the leaders, who do you support? Which side, ladies and gentlemen, do you support? Do you support the approach of Narendra Modi, who says, we have a long way to go, we must therefore fight hard right now? Or do you support Rahul Gandhi. And I can only tell you this, it's Modi, Modi, Modi by a long margin. So this is the time for you to choose. What kind of a leader do you want to have? Do you want to have a nation first leader? Do you have an India first leader? Or do you want a leader who says that India is not even a nation and that India is a dead economy? The fact is, viewers, Modi baiters, Modi haters may not like it, but Narendra Modi, through this fight, which will be remembered for decades, the MAGA versus MEGA fight, some people say, but no. It is the fight of despotism, Trump style, through the approach of statesmanship of Narendra Modi. The whole world, the whole global south is standing quietly behind Narendra Modi and saying, this is the way a leader of a nation must respond. No theatrics, no anger, no bad language. But he is leading today Brazil, which is 50% tariffs, Laos, 40% tariffs, Myanmar, 40% tariffs. All of them are looking up to Narendra Modi, saying he eventually will win. And in the victory of India is our victory as well. How proud should we be about this situation? Ladies and gentlemen, I feel proud. Do you? And therefore I say to you tonight, it is time for you to choose. Do not believe the doomsday scenarios, the anti-India positions of Rahul Gandhi. Remember all the things he said during COVID, how Rahul Gandhi said during COVID, COVID is going to, the third wave will finish India. We will be, every wave will be bigger. India will be destroyed. But we know that we actually supplied 70% of WHO's total vaccine stock. And we were the fastest country to achieve the 100 million vaccination mark. We defeated the lies of Rahul Gandhi at that point of time. We can do it again. And that is why, in conclusion, I would say I totally agree with the ex-CEO of Niti Aayog and former G20 Sherpa, Amitabh Kant, when he said that Trump has provided us a once-in-a-generation opportunity to take the next big leap on reforms. This crisis must be fully utilized. How right you are, Mr. Amitabh Kant. I thank you for your leadership when you say that. It is time for us to choose, therefore. It is time for us to choose between the anti-Trump position of Narendra Modi and the government of India. 95% of you are backing Narendra Modi, and the Trump-leaning position of Rahul Gandhi. Only 5% are. I'm sure by the end of this debate, that number will be 100-0. I thank you for listening to me tonight. I will be grateful if you can forward this video to as many people as possible so that people see the truth. The tough times will pass, but we must be on the right side. Let's debate.
Threatened and rattled, Donald Trump is targeting the world's fourth largest economy.
Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil.
It's okay.
Like China, for instance,
It's
buys
okay.
more.
Yeah.
Why are you singling India out for these additional sanctions?
It's only been 8 hours, so let's see what happens over the next.
Sanctions
you're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanction.
Trump wants to push genetically modified crops into India. While the negotiations continue between India and United States, India has categorically refused to allow genetically modified crops in agricultural sector. India has told the megalomaniac president, we are not giving in to your tantrums.
हमारे लिए अपने किसानों का हित सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
Modi government stand is clear. No compromise with farmers' interest. No compromise with dairy farmers' interest. No compromise with national interests. Bring it on. We are ready for it. Unfortunately, India's opposition has not been able to put up a joint front for the nation. They are back to their attack government and politicize template.
Well, this is pure and simple blackmail by America. Having said that, it's surprising that we've reached this spot where we can be bullied around by a superpower. Over the last 11 years, what we've seen, the track record of our foreign policy, the track record of our diplomacy, the track record of our Prime Minister's own initiatives abroad, the diaspora events and so on and so forth, everything was targeted at highlighting the Prime Minister, projecting the Prime Minister and his personal image, not the country's interests.
प्रधानमंत्री जी इतने कमज़ोर हो गए हैं कि अमेरिका जैसे नचा रही है वैसे ही नाच रहे हैं। अब आप सोचिए 50% टैरिफ होना कितना भारी देश को नुकसान होने जा रहा है और इस पे कोई बात नहीं कह रहे ये लोग, सब लोग चुप हैं।
Segments like IT, especially IT related goods and services, pharmaceuticals and textiles will be badly affected. Exports will come down, and this is all because of the botched up foreign policy of the union government.
Despite the economic pressure, Modi government has stood tall and unflinching. But the opposition is ready to dance to Trump's tunes.
Trump is saying Indian economy is a dead economy.
Yes, he's right. I mean, everybody knows this, except the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy.
As a nation, this is the time to come together to protect our farmers, our economy, and our sovereignty. Can the opposition for once look at the larger picture and back Bharat instead of Donald Trump?
Tonight with Sanju Verma of the BJP, Patabika Ram Komar Reddy of the TDP. We have Abdul Razak of the Congress. We have Sunny Singh Ahluwalia, chief spokespersons nationally of the Aam Aadmi Party. We have Pulla Rao, pro-DMK. We have Rajat Sethi, right-leaning columnist, and Sanjeev Srivastav, senior journalist. I thank you all very, very, very much. Now, Dr. Ahluwalia, since the first time you're on my program, you see, this is when there are times of war, you stand with the country. When there are times of war, you stand with the government. When there are times of war, you stand with the Prime Minister of India. You don't stand with the President of the country which is threatening us. Why is the opposition being so opportunistic and being so short-sighted in your view?
No, according to me, that why India is going to give the price. Why are we giving the price just for purchasing oil from Russia? Is that a real reason? What will happen to our export? What will happen to our textile industry? What will happen to our spice industry? And what will happen to other things? Has a very good relation. Prime Minister Modi has a very good relation with Trump. Where is the relation? And why Trump is only targeting India? Why Trump is not targeting China or any other country? Why only India? Just to blackmail us? And one time we are saying that we have a very good relation with US. What happened in the war with Pakistan, the neighboring country? That time also US said what? Now my only question is, are we getting threatened because we are purchasing oil from Russia? Or there is some other reason of blackmailing country like India who has always stood with US? And this is not only for the US. See what is happening, how Trump is targeting and why he is targeting. When he has a close relation, just because of Russia we are being targeted, and what our Prime Minister and our big ministers are doing on it. They are saying that I am going to stand. The Prime Minister's statements clearly mention that I am standing with the farmers. What is formula he is trying to say? what advantages we are giving to the US and what disadvantages we are getting in return. Why we want to
Dr.
help other
Ahluwalia,
countries
Dr.
in
Ahluwalia,
getting dislodged from
Dr.
our
Ahluwalia,
DNA?
Dr. Ahluwalia, I'm getting, Dr. Ahluwalia, just 1 minute. Before I get Sanju to respond, I am very shocked at whatever you are saying, because I thought you would feel proud that you have a Prime Minister who tells Donald Trump that we are going to do what we want and we are not going to bow down to what you're saying. We will build a relationship with whoever we want.
No, what he's saying.
Don't you feel proud about it?
GTRI.
Did you feel, doesn't that make you feel a little
How
proud?
this is proud? When our export will go down.
No, this is a negotiation. Dr. Ahluwalia.
Thing will go down and we'll
Dr.
feel proud about
Ahluwalia,
it.
I want to ask you.
No,
I want to
how
ask
to
you.
be-
Of course, China is not a democratic country. But, no, I want to ask you. Actually, let me ask Razak. China is not a democratic country. But when in China was also threatened with 145% tariff by Trump, were there people in China saying that Xi Jinping is to blame? But in India, we will blame Narendra Modi for Trump's decisions. Why? There's no logic here. Razak?
Because Narendra Modi ji always says that we have a good relation with US. We are.
Everybody thought they have a good relation with Trump, but Trump has gone mad nowadays. Isn't it obvious to you? He's gone crazy of late.
But still India went ahead and we did. Howdy Modi, Namaste Trump. Arnab ji, the opposition is always with the government when it comes to national interest. But will the BJP accommodate? Did we not warn Mr. Modi not to go ahead and meddle or interfere in their private elections? What happened to Namaste Trump? What happened to Howdy Modi? Why was all this done? Today we should accept that Modi Sarkar failed in its foreign policies.
This tariff policy of the tariff policy of Donald Trump has come out in this term. The tariff policy of Donald Trump has come out in this term. What are you talking about? Why is your GK so bad? Now I want Sanju to come into this on the sort of responses we are seeing of the opposition so far. Sanju, briefly.
Sir, this term or that term, it was the same
Arnab,
Prime
this is
Minister.
not fair. Expect certain courtesy when I'm talking. Are you done, Mr. Razak? Or if you have something more to say, you can go ahead. I will speak after you're done. Thank you.
Carry on.
You know, Arnab, first and foremost,
There is a lag actually, time lag.
I refuse to debate. You can have him speak. Because you will not, stop these guys from making and creating a nuisance. The moment Sanju Verma interjects, you tell me, Sanju, wait. Let him speak. I'm willing to listen to him today. Let him speak. Because he's full of anguish and angst. Let him make more points if he has some valid ones.
No, carry on, Sanju.
Carry
on. Why anger? What is there to be angry about? Come on. Please continue.
No, what do you expect me to do? You expect me to applaud for him?
Why am I getting dragged into this? Can we all start our positions? I'm just chilled out today. Relax. I am calm. Yeah.
Arnab, first and foremost, the audio is very bad. I don't know whether you're able to listen to me or hear me or not.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So now please, Mr. Razak, I heard you. Let me make my point and you can rebut me as much as you wish. First, in 30 seconds, I'm done with this entire reckless narrative by Rahul Gandhi saying Indian economy is a dead one. And on your show, I want to say that I had written an op-ed column, Indian economy is alive and kicking, which was tweeted by the official handle of the Prime Minister of India. I'm not trying to, curry some brownie points here, but let truth be told. India is the world's 4th largest economy today. Rahul Gandhi says it's a dead economy. We are the world's 6th largest stock market. Rahul Gandhi says we are dead. We have the world's 4th largest forex reserves. We have the world's 7th largest gold reserves. We are the world's 2nd largest steel producer. We are the world's 2nd largest cement producer. We are the world's 2nd largest motorcycle manufacturer. We are the world's 2nd largest smartphone market. We are the world's 3rd largest solar energy producer. We are the world's 3rd largest wind energy producer. And most importantly, we added 17.9 crore, 179 million jobs in the last 11 years, including 4.7 crore jobs last year alone. Thanks to Narendra Modi, Arnab, 25 crore people were uplifted from multi-dimensional poverty. And let me very quickly in 5 seconds tell you, the poverty rate in 2005 in India was 37.2%. In 2012, it was 21.9%. As you and me speak today, the poverty rate is 2.34%. That is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done for India. You know, let me also say one more thing. Rahul Gandhi said, oh, you know, Modi is scared of Trump because of the Adani connection. Arey bhai sahab, kaun sa Adani ka connection? You know, 5 out of the 7 listed Adani companies had their IPOs done when the Congress was in power. And has Rahul Gandhi forgotten that in 2006 or not, at 10 rupees per square meter, only 10 rupees per square meter, that is what Adani paid for land for his SEZ. And who was in power in 2006? Was it the BJP? No. It was Sonia Gandhi's proxy government who allowed Adani to take a controlling stake in Mundra Port in 2005. It was the Congress government. And let me tell you one last point. Adani is only a charade. Actually, Rahul Gandhi is against our institutions. If you remember, before Hindenburg shut down, Rahul Gandhi said, Adani ko itna paisa diya hai SBI ne, SBI khatam ho jayegi. Adani ko itna paisa diya hai LIC ne, LIC barbad ho jayegi. And let me tell Rahul Gandhi, through Arnab Goswami's show, last year SBI posted a net profit of almost 71,000 crore, the highest ever in post-independent India, and LIC posted a net profit of 48,151 crore.
Okay, now, yeah,
number,
so I want to go back to the
economy.
contrarian voices. Now, I want to understand Sanjeev and Pulla, that you can, you know, just 1 minute, don't drone away. I would like Patabi, Reddy, Rajat Sethi, Sanjeev and Pulla on the windows, please. See, this is your moment, Pulla, Sanjeev, to say we are not anti-national. Because if you stand with, but you are going to lose this. You should say, no, Arnab, you are wrong. You've been calling all people anti-national, but we are with the government. We are not with Trump. We are not like the Congress party, which compromised before Americans. You know, Sanjeev has been, I think he was with the BBC when Manmohan Singh kowtowed to the Americans and said that the India-Iran gas pipeline project, a strategic energy project, will be given up by India because of pressure on the US-India nuclear deal. He said it's too dangerous and we will not go ahead with the project. So the Congress party gave up on the project. And the strategic decisions in the Congress party's time were dictated by the Central Intelligence Agency or the CIA. And that was revealed not by me, but by Natwar Singh. So at this point of time, see how difficult it is to be the only country in the world, Sanjeev, to be standing up to Trump substantially, not through words, but through a substantial action. It is time for us to therefore take a slightly more informed position on which side we should be on. Sanjeev, what's your stand on this, please, Sanjeev?
Okay. So, one thing is that if I don't agree with your stand,
yes,
which you don't presume that I won't, but that doesn't mean that I'll be anti-national. I just don't like that sermon, but it's fine. That's your play and your show. The issue really is that I completely disagree with Rahul Gandhi. Indian economy is not dead by far. Yes, there is an issue with what Sanju Verma said, that Indian economy is not really alive and kicking in the sense that we have seen it over the last. It is right now a slowing down. There are problems with the economy, but those are domestic issues, local problems, and we'll tide over that as well, I'm sure. But the issue is, like when we reel out these statistics, we'll be the 3rd largest economy soon. We have the 7th largest foreign exchange reserves. We have the 7th gold reserves in the world. And still US is treating like this. That is what embarrasses me.
Still what? Still
that
what?
is what
still
really
what?
makes me question.
Still what did you say?
What
still what?
No, sorry, let me complete.
No, just one minute. Do you,
still the US
Trump talks like this?
Still,
yeah,
still
but,
US and Trump
Okay, so let me, 1 minute, just to pause right there.
Like this,
just to pause right there.
Sorry, let me complete.
Just to pause. China is a much larger economy like us, than us.
I am not
No, China is a much larger economy than us. So, how does Trump speak to China? 1 minute, just 1 minute. You are making it look as if every intellectually congenital defect of Donald Trump is India's responsibility. It is not. Yeah, nobody takes responsibility in this world for Trump. No, 1 minute. Sanjeev, let me go. Sanjeev, see. Listen to me. Be reasonable. Listen here. Trump is America's problem. How he talks, how he behaves, what words he uses. Nobody in the world in his right mind is responsible for it. I don't understand what is wrong with you guys. You guys are saying, why is Trump talking to us like this? Does he take our permission before talking to us like this? Did he take Xi Jinping's permission?
No, I never said that.
No. How
I
are we
never said
responsible
that.
for
I
how
said
he talks?
something else.
He's a badly
I
behaved
said
fellow.
something else.
He speaks badly. He's rude. He's desperate.
No. I said something else. I said
Then
something
why are you
else.
blaming?
No,
Yeah,
Arnab,
what did you
please,
say?
yeah, don't put words in my mouth.
What did
I
you
never
say?
said, how is he talking?
What did you say?
I said,
What did you say?
how is he that if we are so, please allow me to say it, that if we are so great, if we are so important, if our economy is so good, we are so relevant to the world scheme of things, we are just, cat's whiskers, if you may, then why is Trump treating us like this, that we are today the highest tariff nation in the world?
No one
from US perspective.
Can I ask?
And
Can
why
I
China is not?
again a little
China
bit,
is not
a little bit.
God
One minute.
And the answer is- Can I also answer?
Sanjeev. I let Rajat respond to you. One line to you. Listen. This is Trump's problem again, and we are not the highest taxed nation in the world. The total impact of these taxes would be 5% of the 800 billion or so business that we do with the US, given that pharma is exempt. So we are creating too much hype about it, one. Secondly, a month back,
You are doing what
Trump had
happens,
taken a month back.
Aren't we on the 50%
No.
tax
50 is nothing. He took it to 200% with the Chinese. He took it to 200% with the Chinese. No, he took it to 200% with the Chinese.
It is right
Forgot?
now 35% with China.
First of all, you are ill-informed.
What he took, what
Sanjeevji,
is
you
there
are
right
absolutely ill-informed. Look at Brazil's tariff. Brazil's tariff is 90%. So you can't say that India is the maximum tariff cut. Second, this is no certificate being distributed by one global authority by the name of Mr. Trump. He is not the global daddy of the world. Okay, so let us leave it at that. He is not in a position to actually intellectually make a coherent argument. He was exposed today when an ANI journalist asked him, do you know that even you import? He doesn't know anything about how his own government operates, how the entire US economy operates. He has absolutely no clue. So let us leave him and do not expect intellect from him. My problem here, and the topic of this discussion, is the India's opposition's reaction. My problem here is that, you can piggyback on Trump one day and you want to call him a liar the other day in the parliament. You want to basically train your guns on his shoulders. You can do that. You can, take up your brownie points, political brownie points. To wits end, I don't care. My problem is that for once, can you be bigger nationalist than what you are?
Oh, yeah.
With even the government, can you actually position and say that, hey, I will tell you, government has failed. I'm not asking you to support the government at all. Say, but this is how I will try to defend my country. Can you as an opposition stand up and say that I will ensure that every single farmer is hand-holded and it's protected against such kind of a tariff war? We will go to every country and try to prove a point. There are ways in framing an argument, sir. There are always ways to take a greater nationalistic position on any problem that our nation faces. But each time it happens, be it the Operation Sindoor, be it terrorist attacks or whatever happens, your instinct is to take the least nationalistic position. That is my problem, sir. And you will not have answers to that.
And Pulla, if that was the...
Sorry. Mr. Sethi, are you, when you keep saying you, do you mean me or the opposition parties?
I mean the opposition, sir. The collective response that the opposition, the first instinctive response that comes from the naysayers. Do you qualify in that club of naysayers? Maybe not. I am not going to judge you, neither am I in a position to judge you.
Don't say do you. Do the opposition qualify? I don't think asking questions to the government is anti-national.
I think, okay, let me, Pulla, 1 minute, just so that we don't make this personal, I want Patabi to come in. Before that, Pulla. See, Pulla, let's all agree on one thing. That what Narendra Modi is doing today is a difficult thing to do. And let me explain why. Because there's a hell of a lot of American commercial interest on the other side. There is a lot of American pressure, American lobbying, American political interests, global lobbying that is going on. And it may sound very easy for you that Narendra Modi, of course, he will come up and say, I will support Indian dairy producers. Who else will he support? But in doing so, he's saying to America, I will not open the floodgates of the Indian market to subsidized American dairy, because if I do that, I will finish off Amul, I will devastate local pricing, I will wipe out small producers, I will destabilize one of the most important and successful schemes of rural livelihood in the country, which is dairy. And in doing so, he's saying, I am Prime Minister of India. I will not compromise. Now, you know, Pulla, if this was Manmohan Singh or Rahul Gandhi, they would have compromised by now. But it takes a leader of the strength, courage, and leadership and personal confidence of Narendra Modi to say, I will not allow genetically modified soya bean or genetically modified corn or genetically modified anything to be used even for animal feed. I will not give the GMO multinational corporations a backdoor entry into Indian agriculture. I know they will fight me. I know they will put money against me. I know they will fund opposition parties. I know they may even fund the Congress party. They may support others. But I am willing to pay the price. But I will not budge an inch. Would the Congress party have done that if it was in power? Would they have done that? Did they do that during Volcker? Did they do that during oil for food scam? Did they do this during the US nuclear deal? Did they do it? Did they do it? They did not. They did not. They did not. They said, Mr. Bush, the people of India love you.
This position today. Why
the people of India love you.
To this position.
I dare you, I dare any political leader to have taken the position that Narendra Modi has today.
Everyone will take that position.
Nonsense, you didn't when you were in power.
No Indian politician has the opportunity to go against this position. It is an established position. It is a position which has been taken for the last 70 years. This is not the first time.
Really? Did you ever say no to GMO? Did you say no to GMO? Did you say no to GMO? Did you say no to GMO American dairy?
No.
Did you say no to them?
In India,
did you stand up to the Americans bullying you during the Indo-US nuke deal? Did you do that? Did you do that or did you give in? Did you give in? Did you give in? You gave in. You gave in then. So I don't trust you now.
Every politician supports this. Everybody supports this. It is not an independent, unique stand he has taken.
Of course, it's both independent, unique, and extraordinary.
Let me ask you one question. One question, please. You brought Mr. One is it is very worrisome when I saw Mr. Amitabh Kant say he has done nothing for 11 years. He says, now is the time for reforms. What was he doing for 11 years in Niti Aayog? What was he doing? He has left us exposed. He sat on that beautiful couch for 11 years. Now that he has quit, he says, it has not offered. So I am worried. I'll be very happy if our friends...
Pullarao-ji, you need not be worried.
No, let me finish, Baba. Let me finish one more minute. I know you well. I respect you. I listen nicely.
Pullarao, one question to you from my side, then I'll be quiet for the rest of the program. Just tell me commonsensical question. Which party was in power when under American pressure, the US Indian currency was devalued in 1966? And tell me, what position did the Congress take at that point of time?
Okay. I'll ask you one question.
Why are you asking me a question? Answer my question.
I'll ask you one question. My question will give you the answer. My question will give you the answer. You said Manmohan Singh cancelled the Iran-Pakistan-India pipeline. You know why? Because Pakistan did not agree to TAPI. Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline. That's why they cancelled.
Avoiding my question. Don't avoid my question.
That was the context.
Don't avoid my question.
I need to make a point here.
Don't avoid my question. Patabi Kumar Reddy is responding over TDB. Patabi, please. Patabi, let's go with the debate. Please, Patabi is responding. Pulla, he'll listen to you. Pulla, you're losing tonight. You're losing tonight because you're backing Rahul Gandhi, so you're losing tonight. You know, the only thing worse than backing Udaynidhi Stalin is backing Rahul Gandhi.
For my friend, Mr. Patabi.
Yeah, Pullarao, please kindly listen. See, Arnab, what I strongly believe today is India need not be a worried nation because of this tariff, because India is now in a much stronger position under Modi ji. When you compare our situation till 2014 and what we are now,
we have grown in leaps and bounds. We are one of the fastest growing economies with 6.5% GDP. And today, our exports have reached 825 billion, which was only 466 billion till 2013-14, up by 77%. The GDP of our country was only 106 lakh crore in 2014-15, whereas it is 331 lakh crore now in 24-25, 3 times more. The FDIs in 2013-14 was only 36 billion, whereas it had touched 81 billion in 24-25. The foreign exchange
make
reserves.
it specific. No,
Patabi,
you're reading data, Baba. I'll give you the best data. I'll give you the best data. I'll give you the best data.
Arnab, India is in a much stronger position today. The term that Rahul used, the term of dead economy, might have applied to their own UPA 1 and UPA 2 rules, but not to the government under Narendra Modi ji and NDA. These are all the facts. I'm reading out the facts. We are in a much better position today to deal with these kind of situations. And Modi ji is one of the strongest leaders in the entire globe.
I want to ask Sunny. I want to ask Sunny.
Look at the double standards. Look at the double standards of Trump.
Sunny, see, of late you have moved away. You have seen the light. You have understood the wisdom. And for whatever reasons, you've realized it is political suicide to go with the Congress, so you have left them officially. Congratulations for that, Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia. It's a very good decision. Better late than never. Now, having done that, why do you need to take you can be independent today. You don't have to oppose Modi for the sake of it.
No.
Do you think more people will vote for you if you oppose Modi?
No. It is that most widely traveled Prime Minister India ever had. He has been many times to US.
Are you jealous?
And he has again.
Are you jealous? You want to go?
We are proud that even after going so many times to US, the present relation is that the Trump is trying to put 50% of taxes on us only. So if he is moving so much to the same country, and after saying that Trump Sarkar is war, and after helping every kind of things, it is not only India is getting worse. It is also that the things which will get exported, the business will go down. Even people living in US will get difficult times. But at the same time, the Prime Minister who had traveled to so many countries, but when you see at the relation... Now what relation you had that you had to start the Pakistan war when we were fast and we were trying to capture Pakistan? What was the reason that Trump directly tweeted and we have to agree to this? When we agree to everything of Trump, he is trying to put more taxes on us. I am not against anybody, but at the same time, I'll try to say that whatever Rahul Gandhi says, we don't care for that. But at the same time, whatever the Prime Minister says and whatever relation he says that we have a good relation with US, but what happens to the relation for getting a fuel from Russia? They are trying to put penalty on us. What kind of Prime Minister we have? This is called good relation or this is a bad relation? Tell me what relation this is.
भाई साहब तुसी बहुत कुछ कहता किसी ने कुछ समझ नहीं आया उनकी बारी है ये सुनन दी सिर्फ डिबेट च बोलना नहीं है सुनना भी पैंदा है डिबेट च सुनना भी पैंदा भाई साहब डिबेट च सिर्फ बोलना नहीं है तुसी बहुत कुछ कहा है तुसी बहुत कुछ सुनो डिबेट च सिर्फ बोलना नहीं होता डिबेट च सुनना भी
इतनी सुबह होगी कभी तो जागो मोदी भक्तों कभी तो जागो कितनी सुबह होगी कभी तो जागो मोदी भक्तों
चुप हो जाओ ट्रंप ने इतनी वफादारी दिखाने की थानू कोई जरूरत नहीं है शाम सो जाओ भाई साहब ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ मैं सुनिया हुण मेरी गल थोड़ी सुन लो थानू मैं बड़ी विनम्रता दे नाल कह रही हूं
Can you speak in English?
I'm speaking Punjabi with my,
No, but I want to understand. No, the whole country is watching, so I understand Punjabi, but please oblige us, thank you.
Yes. So let me just come back to the key point. I actually like the phrase by Rajat and I would like to borrow it. The global daddy. Yeah, of course. Trump is not the global daddy anymore. He never was. But, on a more serious note, I want to say this. For everybody out there who's lashing out at Prime Minister Modi, he succumbed, he's caved in. Let us, look at three things just. Nobody gave Narendra Modi half a chance, but he consummated a free trade agreement called the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement with ASEAN nations. Nobody gave Narendra Modi half a chance. He consummated a free trade agreement with Australia in 2022, but the big daddy of them all is the free trade agreement signed a few weeks back with United Kingdom, whereby our bilateral trade with UK will now go from $58 billion to more than $110 billion plus in less than 4 years. More than 75,000 Indians in the United Kingdom don't have to make any social security contributions.
Now we are all reading statistics out here. We are all reading statistics out here. I'll keep the debate more simple than that. I would like to ask. Go back to Sanjeev on this. Sanjeev and Pulla. You see, I want to understand. If your entire position here, Sanjeev, is why is Trump talking down to us, right? Your entire argument is if we are so important and if we have such a great relationship with America, why is Trump talking down to us? I'm sure that's a very political position you're taking. The more informed position you could have taken but chose not to take for reasons of your own understanding is that this is Trump's style of doing business. This is, in his own words, the art of the deal, where you raise the stakes, you talk down, and you expect that the other side sort of wilts. Now, in this case, India is looking back. So the nature of the conversation, therefore, changes. I can safely predict, Sanjeev, that Trump is going to be the one to climb down within 10 to 15 days. And if that happens, would you consider that to be India's success?
Of course I will.
So I think it's going to happen.
What is the doubt in this? I'll be most happy. And there is a possibility, of that happening, since he has given a 21-day window to impose these additional 25% tariff. He has given us a 21-day window in which he maybe, how can anybody read his mind, but in which time Trump may be hoping that he may be able to somehow coax or coerce or
wouldn't you say therefore, Sanjeev, just to you again, wouldn't you then say that the unflappable response of the Modi government is ideal way to handle Trump?
Unflappable response was a lack of choice for us. Now we have come out with a little, at least we have shown some spine and said that this is unjustified, unreasonable.
At what point in your view did we not show spine?
Arnab,
the statement of the MEA came day before yesterday.
Allow me
what is it? No, I would like to ask
day before yesterday.
Yeah, the statement of the MEA was clear, we continue to buy Russian oil. So I don't know which is the point of disagreement. What are you disagreeing with?
No, I'm just saying.
You're agreeing.
I'm disagreeing with just one thing. What? Can you just listen now? Why are we so gullible and vulnerable? We take Xi Jinping to Ahmedabad and make him swings. We do all the jhappi pappi with Trump. And they take us for a ride from Galwan to being the back end of Pakistani army. China does that to us. And now this is what Trump is doing to us. So my question is that why are we so gullible at times?
It is not like Modi ji took Xi Jinping to Ahmedabad. It was also the other way around.
Like everybody else.
It was also that Xi Jinping took Prime Minister Modi to Wuhan. Diplomacy doesn't work on a prescriptive attitude that you are showing, sir.
That's fine.
There are
anybody may take
mind games which
but what is China doing?
And those strategic mind games are not discussed on television discussions like this. And of course, you are not privy to 99% things that the government of India and the decision makers are aware of.
They are discussed and implemented on the battlefield.
Do you even know how much our traders
Pakistan fought with Chinese weapon systems.
Allow me to speak. Sit on the hot chair before you pass a running commentary on diplomacy. It is a much more difficult game. Requires an application of mind. Requires an application of mind. It is not an easy task of an armchair critic sitting in and passing sermons on the entire government. It doesn't work like that, sir. There are multiple angles, multiple dimensions.
Who is passing sermons?
You are doing that, sir. You are saying the problem is you without any database. You tell me specifically.
I apologize. I apologize, sir. You are a great mind. You are God's gift to mankind.
What skin in the game do you have? So you
please,
have none.
relax.
Please don't do that.
Relax,
I mean, if you are making a commentary, make an informed one.
Relax,
Don't
man.
make a biased
I
opinionated
apologize,
commentary on
sir.
things.
अरे सर आप महान हो.
अरे सर आप
बुद्धि के पर्याय हो.
हूं या नहीं हूं, आपके ज्ञान से थोड़ा सा ज्यादा इन्फॉर्म्ड ज्ञान है
आप
मेरा.
महान हो सर. मैं आपके चरण का है. आप
मान लीजिए
दीजिए.
सर, चरण
Hey guys,
कहाँ हैं?
chill. It's only MAGA versus MEGA. It's not we versus each other. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, every day we fight America, we earn the respect of the real free world. When I'm back, the India and friends on one side and the pro-Trump lobby on the other. This is going to be a hot debate.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल. ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े. क्या निराला MDH मसाला.
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना.
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे.
Republic TV and R4 Sports, they are trying to do something big in sports. They are dreaming something big. They are trying to take out all the untold stories from the athletes, from the academies, and from other sports stakeholders. And I guess this should be there in the national stage. The R4 Sports and Republic TV. Good luck.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध. MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा.
Amity is proud to announce the commencement of its 12th university in India, Amity University, Hyderabad. At the prime location of AeroCity Hyderabad Airport, has a strong focus on high-end research with brilliant students and distinguished faculty who share our mission to change the world together. To apply for this year's session, visit amity.edu/Hyderabad.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल. ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े. क्या निराला MDH मसाला.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो.
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात.
मसाला.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध. MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे. दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
The Indian economy has been the fastest growing G20 economy for 8 of the last 11 years. And those are the only 8 in the last 77 years, during which India has been the largest, has been the fastest growing economy among the G20. So during the years that Rahul Gandhi's family ruled India, India's per capita income was declining relative to the rest of the world. Just listen to that. The average income of an Indian was declining relative to the average income of every human on earth. That is a remarkably bad outcome for India to have had. If you want a dead economy, it is the Nehruvian Indira. The Indian economy has been the fastest growing G20 economy for 8 of the last 11 years. And those are the only 8 in the last 77 years, during which India has been the largest, has been the fastest growing economy among the G20. So during the years that Rahul Gandhi's family ruled India, India's per capita income was declining relative to the rest of the world. Just listen to that. The average income of an Indian was declining relative to the average income of every human on earth. That is a remarkably bad outcome for India to have had. If you want a dead economy, it is the Nehruvian Indira economy and the Rajiv economy. That was a genuinely dead economy. If you want an economy that is vibrant, this is that economy. The economy of India today under the Modi government is in fact...
In an exclusive conversation with Republic TV, Benjamin Netanyahu backs India amid the Trump tariff war. Abhishek Kapoor speaking to Netanyahu in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu reveals the big Gaza plan, says Israel will intensify its war in Gaza to finish Hamas. Says it will be handed over to a governing body. Reports suggest Russian President Vladimir Putin will be in India. Dates yet to be announced. Some reports saying it could be as early as end August.
और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
Prime Minister Modi sends a strong message following Donald Trump's tariff announcement. Says India is ready, says he is ready to pay a personal price if required.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and time now for your favorite section, the nation's sharpest opinion. And it is my view and the view of most informed observers that the tide has started to turn against Trump, and it is the hard position, the uncompromising position of our nation, led by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that is causing the global tide to turn against Donald Trump. Even the American media is now beginning to say, with the kind of position that Narendra Modi has taken, Trump is going to have to back off. And the great part about the communication of the Indian government is that it's measured, it's statesmanlike, but it is also unflinchingly clear. This comment, which I am about to play next, of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, makes his position clear. He says, it is my national interest, our farmers, our dairy producers, our agriculture, our national interest on which I am not going to compromise. It's a clear, unequivocal position, a statement of certainty and a statement of intent from the Indian Prime Minister. Hear this first.
भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
What Narendra Modi is saying essentially, that we have prepared for this, we are ready to pay the price, that we will be able to ride this out, and that he doesn't care about the cost that it has on him personally. That's what leadership is about. But Narendra Modi isn't just saying things. He's also sent National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. We have the pictures of Ajit Doval meeting Vladimir Putin. And at the end of that meeting, Ajit Doval made a very interesting announcement. And he was there, he spoke to all the Russians. At the end of that meeting, he announced that Vladimir Putin is going to be visiting India. Very important statement and very important announcement globally, that Putin is going to be traveling to India, which is a big strategic statement by Russia towards India as well. Hear this.
You have very rightly mentioned, Excellency, that we have got a very special relationship, a long relationship, and we highly value our strategic partnership. We have had high-level engagements, and these relationships, these high-level engagements have contributed very substantially. We are very excited and delighted to learn about the visit of His Excellency the President of Russia, President Putin, to India. I think that the dates are almost finalized now.
And that made global headlines, that Putin is going to be traveling in. Here, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to state that it is not just Putin traveling to India which is important. Even the Chinese